Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Celine and this is the very first video on my channel. Here I plan to create content about literature, mythology, and maybe even a bit about art. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the story of the creation of the world in Persian mythology. First, let me introduce my sources. When studying Persian mythology, there are several valuable references I'll be using. For example, Persian Mythology by John R. Hennels. But for this particular video, I've relied heavily on the mythological history of Iran by Dr. Jala Amuzgar. Now, let's begin. In the ancient imagination of Persia, the creation of the world was not a single sudden act. It was a vast cosmic drama unfolding across 12,000 mythical years. This immense span of time was divided into 4 ages, each lasting 3,000 years, during which the eternal forces of light and darkness struggled for dominion. In this video, I'll focus on the very beginning, the first 3,000 years and the second one, and explain how the creation took place. In the first 3,000 years of existence, the universe is entirely spiritual. There is no place, no time, and no movement. The world is empty of any substance. There are only 2 beings. The first is the realm of Ahura Mazda, filled with light, life, wisdom, beauty, happiness, and health. Everything the mind can imagine is good. The second is the realm of Aiman, which is dark and ugly. It represents destruction, illness, sadness, and all that the mind can imagine as evil. Here, we need to talk about Zurvan. The story of creation, according to Zurvanism, begins with Zurvan, the god of time. There was also a cult called Zurvanism within Zoroastrianism, which I'll talk about in later videos. So, according to Zurvanism, Zurvan, the god of time, was the only being in existence. There was nothing else in the world. He prayed for 1,000 years to have a son with ideal divine qualities, Ahura Mazda, who could create the world. But after 1,000 years, Zurvan experienced a moment of doubt, just for the briefest instant. And in that very moment, 2 beings were conceived within him, Ahura Mazda and Ahriman. Ahura Mazda was born from his faith and patience, while Ahriman was born from that tiny spark of doubt. At that moment, Zurvan made a pact. He declared that the firstborn son would become the ruler of the universe. When Ahriman learned of this, he rushed to be born first. So Ahriman emerged before Ahura Mazda, and I'll talk much more about him in later videos and later in this video. But he represents everything dark and impure, filth, decay, and foulness. After him came Ahura Mazda, who embodies light, purity, fragrance, and goodness. Now Zurvan had made a promise, so he had to grant Ahriman the kingdom of the universe. However, Zurvan also knew that at the end of time, there would be a final battle between the 2 brothers, one that Ahura Mazda would ultimately win and become the eternal king of the world. So, Ahura Mazda resides in his realm, which is filled with goodness, beauty, and light. Some of his qualities are wisdom, capability, victory, guardianship, and the ability to see distant places. He is both the father and the mother of creation. At this stage, we are still talking about the first 3,000 years, so the world exists in a purely spiritual form. His first creations are the Amesha Spentas, a group of 7 divine beings who represent different qualities of Ahura Mazda. Amesha in Avestan language means immortal or deathless, and Spenta means holy. So they are a group of holy immortals. Each of them also has a demonic counterpart among the archdemons created by Ahriman, which we will discuss later in this video. Originally, there were only 6 of Amesha Spentas. However, later sources count 7 Amesha Spentas since Sravosha is later included as one of them. Also, some believe that the first Amesha Spenta created by Ahura Mazda is Spenta Manu. Spenta meaning holy and Manu meaning spirit, the name means bountiful and holy spirit. She is the main symbol of Ahura Mazda and represents his spirit and thoughts. She also carries the life-giving force of Ahura Mazda and through that guards the life and lands and creatures on the planet. The next Amesha Spenta created by Ahura Mazda, who is also believed to be the first Amesha Spenta, is Vahumana, which means good thought. He is the result of Ahura Mazda's good thought and represents that very quality. Sitting at Ahura Mazda's right side, he also serves as a kind of an advisor to him. Vahumana is the guardian and protector of animals, especially the beneficial ones in the world. Since he represents Ahura Mazda's good thought and is born from it, he is also connected to human beings and their capacity for good thinking. Essentially, he brings that good thought into the minds of humans, and through this, people believe that they can be led toward the true religion. In fact, it is said that Zoroaster reached the presence of Ahura Mazda through Vahumana, as he guides humans toward the divine. After death, Vahumana welcomes the souls of those who perform good deeds and leads them to heaven. In ancient Iran, people named days and months after their deities and Amesha Spentas and dedicated those months and days to them. Most of these days and months still carry their names. The 10th month, or Bahman, was dedicated to Vahumana. The next Amesha Spenta created was Asha Vahishta, also known as Arta Vahishta. The word Asha or Arta translates to truth or order, while Vahishta means the best or excellent. Together, the name signifies excellent order. He is considered the most beautiful of all the Amesha Spentas, symbolizing the cosmic order and divine law that govern both the spiritual and physical realms. Asha Vahishta observes the prayers of human beings, and those who fail to please him are denied entry into heaven. His role extends beyond maintaining order on earth. He also ensures justice in the spiritual world. He guarantees that the righteous receive their due rewards after death and that the wicked are not punished beyond what they deserve. His sacred representation in the material worldly sign is fire, the purest symbol of truth and order. The second month in the Iranian calendar, aka or the Behesht, is dedicated to this Amesha Spenta. The next Amesha Spenta created was Kshatravarya, which means desirable reign. He represents capability, greatness, and the divine power of Ahura Mazda's rule. Kshatravarya also shows compassion toward those who suffer within the kingdom. He is the guardian of metals, which are considered his sacred element and earthly symbol. At the end of the world, it is said that Kshatravarya will test humankind by causing molten metal to flow across the earth, revealing the righteousness of every soul. Shahrivar, which is the 6th month in Iranian calendar, was named after him. Next Amesha Spenta is Spenta Armati, the daughter of Ahura Mazda. She is the earth deity and sits at Ahura Mazda's left side. Spenta Armati cares for the earth and all living creatures upon it. The plants draw their nourishment from her, and she embodies tolerance, patience, and devotion. She also appears in several mythical stories which we will explore later. Iranians dedicated the last month of their calendar, also known as Esfand, to Spenta Armati. Following her is Hawvatad, whose name means perfection or wholeness. She is the symbol of salvation and preservation for humankind. Hawvatad governs the waters of the universe, and the health of plants depends on her. She often works together with other divine beings such as Tishtariya and Vayu, whom we will discuss later on. Khordad, the third month of the year in the Iranian calendar, was dedicated to her. The next Amesha Spenta is Ameretad, meaning deathless. She represents Ahura Mazda's immortal quality and is the guardian of plants. Ameretad nurtures and protects them from withering, working alongside the earth deities. Hawvatad and Ameretad are often mentioned together as both support growth and life on earth. The fifth month of Iranian calendar, Mordad, is dedicated to Ameretad. We will talk about Sravosha when we discuss the deities created after the Amesha Spentas. After creating them, Ahura Mazda brought forth other gods such as Vayu, Mithra, and Ardavisura, each deserving a video of their own. For now, I'll just mention that Sravosha, who was later regarded as an Amesha Spenta, means obedience and order. He is one of the most revered figures in Persian mythology. Sravosha welcomes the souls of the dead and guides them in the afterlife. Alongside Rashnu and Mithra, he serves as one of the judges of departed souls. Now, it's time to talk about Ahriman's realm, the role of darkness, corruption, and evil. In Avesta and Pahlavi texts, the creation of Ahriman's realm and his demonic beings is not described in as much detail as the creation of Ahura Mazda's world. Many demons are mentioned by name, but not their individual stories are mentioned in details. Ahriman, also known as Angramenu, is the direct opponent of Ahura Mazda. His name, Angramenu, stands in opposition to Spentamenu, symbolizing the eternal conflict between destructive and bountiful spirits. Ahriman first creates the archdemons, each serving as the evil counterpart to one of the Amesha Spentas. The first is Akamana, the opponent of Vahumana. He represents bad thoughts and acts as Ahriman's messenger. The next is Indra, who opposes Ashavahishta. He stands against order and discipline. Then comes Saura, the enemy of Kshatravarya, symbolizing injustice and bad rulership. In ancient Iran, he was the embodiment of tyranny and corruption. Naghaithiya is the adversary of Spenta Armati. He tempts creation into dissatisfaction, urging beings to reject patience and humility. Tyri, the enemy of Hawvatad, is the one who poisons plants and animals, standing against Hawvatad's rule as the protector of health and water. Finally, Zairi is the counterpart of Ameretad, Since Ameretad represents immortality, Zairi brings poison and decay to oppose her life-giving essence. Ahriman also created demons to disrupt the order of the universe, which we will discuss in later videos. Ahura Mazda has the power to stop Ahriman at the border of the world of light. However, he chooses not to do so, because if he were to destroy Ahriman immediately, evil would exist eternally. Instead, Ahura Mazda devises a plan through which Ahriman's power will gradually weaken, deteriorate, and eventually perish forever. First, Ahura Mazda plans to lure Ahriman out of his dark realm and provoke him into battle. He sends a ray of light into the world of darkness. When Ahriman sees this light, he attacks the realm of light in fury. Ahura Mazda then offers peace, but only on the condition that Ahriman must worship his creation. Ahriman rejects the offer. So Ahura Mazda proposes another arrangement, that there will be a fixed time for their final battle. Ahriman accepts, and thus a pact is made between them. According to this pact, the final battle between good and evil will take place 9,000 years after their first encounter. After this agreement, Ahura Mazda recites the Ahnuvar, the holiest Zoroastrian prayer. The power of this sacred word renders Ahriman unconscious, and he retreats into his dark realm, remaining there for the next 3,000 years. This marks the end of the first cycle of creation. In the second cycle, Ahura Mazda begins the creation of the physical world. From eternal time, he creates limited time, and in 6 stages, he brings forth the prototypes of his main creations: the sky, water, earth, plants, animals, and human beings. The sky is created first. It shines with light, and the ancient Persians imagined it to be made of diamond or metal, strong and unbreakable. In Pahlavi sources, this sky is described as a mighty fortress that protects the world from Ahriman's attacks. The prototype of water is a single vast drop, large enough to contain all the waters of the world. The prototype of earth is round and smooth, without hills or valleys, hard in some places and soft in others. The prototype of plants is a single branch that contains the essence of every plant in existence. The prototype of animals is a sacred winged white cow called a Vakdad, the ancestor of all animal life. And finally, the prototype of humans is Geomart, whose name means mortal living being or a dying life. The name comes from 2 parts: Gea, meaning life or the living part, and Mart, meaning death or mortal. Together, Geomart represents the idea of living mortal, a living being who carries both life and death within him and is destined to die. He is the first man, the origin of humankind. The end of the second cycle and the beginning of the third begins when Ahriman awakens from his long sleep. That's when the further creation of the plants, humans, and the rest of the physical world takes place. We're going to explore all of that in the next video, where we'll see how the battle between light and darkness continues and how the world as we know it begins to take shape. Thank you everyone for watching video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel for more content like this.